Welcome back to the channel, Natsu here once again, and we need to talk about Fate of Fury, City of the Wolves. Now, a lot of people have been asking me, hey Natsu, are you gonna do a tier list? And I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna do it, even though I think it's still super early, and this is coming from somebody that did the open beta tier list. But I think it's something that we need to discuss because I've been hearing some discourse about people saying, oh, this character is trash, etc, etc. And there's a lot of things that, it's early in the game, right? People might have opinions, and those opinions might be wrong. The same can be applied for me. I'm not saying I know it all because, who I am, right? So having said that, please like and subscribe. It does help a lot of the channel. Also, there's gonna be timestamps in the comments and the description, so you can jump to the character that you want to go. But keep in mind that please first hear this introduction because this will be way clearer. If you take like a small companion to when you jump to the character that you want to know about, right? So, for example, one of the things I think this game, and a lot of people are saying, oh, that won't matter, and a lot of people say that will matter, is that if your character can have great damage from light attacks, and also your character can special cancel from far attacks, and when I mean special cancel, I'm not talking about the universal overhead, the universal anti-air, which if it hits you can special cancel. I'm talking about like a far hard punch or far hard kick, right? Because doing shimmies like in Street Fighter 6 is gonna be really great and really big in this game, because keep in mind that once you avoid a throw, they will be on a wild punish state, so you can do like a great counter, and sometimes depending on the range and also the timing, it might not be a wild punish, but at least you will be able to convert, right? Now, keep that always in mind, and also keep in mind that I'm not taking in consideration the SPG gauge. I'm talking about in general, because some characters, even though they might be better if the SPG gauge is at the beginning of their life or maybe at the end, I think that won't affect that much. It will affect more matchups in actuality, or how to play against another player, because that's another thing that going to be big, right? And something I want to mention is that this game, I think, is super balanced. I think this is the most balanced game in fighting game modern history in a long time, and because I do see there's stuff that is cheap, but you can avoid it or escape from it by using the defense options that the game has, like rep guard, like just defense, and with that including just defense, you can also guard cancel, and from guard cancel you can also have other moves like that, have your invisible TP or invincible super come out super fast, right? So having said that, let's start with the top tiers, right? Because I've been hearing people that are saying, hey, they need to nerf some characters, and I will be going over that character, but I think the top tier, the number one character, and I'm gonna do all this by order, is Gato. Now, Gato, it's kind of funny because in the Evo showcase, I was like, maybe he's not that good, but bro, let me tell you, Punko and other Gato players have been doing the work. The character has a natural overhead, like a normal overhead, not the universal overhead, where if he hits you normally, you can combo afterwards. The damage output that this character does is insane. Also, the rock paper scissors scenario that he puts you when he's on stance mode is really strong, especially if the Gato player knows what he's doing, and if the Gato player knows what you're gonna do, right? Another thing is that he can have safe pressure, even though he's using EX, and that that happens with almost the rest of the cast. But I think he does it the best in the game. And with punish, he has great buttons. In general, a super monster beast. You might say his weakness is that he doesn't know how to handle good against zoners, but that's something that I think goes away when you have just defense, especially because you can do it in the air, and if you know how to deal, jump forward and avoid Kane's fireballs, for example, right, or avoid certain things, right, you can punish correctly. And yes, you can say, oh, but even if he does just defense, he's gonna bounce a little bit, but he's the mental scare that you put in your opponent, that, oh, this guy knows how to just defend and he's gonna jump forward, and I need to be, I need to mix it up. But once he's there inside, close to you or middle distance, you need to be afraid, really afraid. Now, the second character, and I will say this second character also will be like, even though I'm gonna put it like second, I think they can both be swapped. What I mean by that is that I think the second character is Hotaru, and the third character will be Kane. Now, I will talk about Kane in a few minutes, but I want to talk about Hotaru. Now, Hotaru is the best Shoto in the game. Has great DP, even though people say, oh, she has Toby normals. It doesn't matter if she has Toby normals. Like, she can, even though she doesn't have the reach or maybe a far attack like Gato or maybe Kane, right? She can do stuff that other characters need to spend a lot of real estate. So, for example, if you have seen my Hotaru Dark Hotaru Rises, right, you will notice that in that video, I was abusing her quadruple back EX punch move, which is the one that she spins around and then does like a plan, right? If you break that, she will be +3 on block, and you can loop it around like 4 to 5 depending. If you're the SPG, you can also do almost like 6 times. The thing with this is that it will create frame traps scenarios. It also will create overheat scenarios against your opponent. It will also make you confirm, help you confirm, oh, it hits, okay, let's go rocket, because if it hits, then do not break it and then go forward to another thing and rise and repeat, right? Like I said, she has a good DP. Her normals are, even though they are the best in range, they do the work, right? She has a reflect, so you cannot try to zone her out because there's no way about it. She will win that war. Also, she can roam after her fireball, which means she has Athena technically pressure. What I mean by that is, like, once she throws her fireball and she starts running after the right after the fireball, right? You need to block the fireball, right? Or take a gamble and jump forward or back or whatever you want to do, right? And then she can do like an anti-air, or she can jump in the air and grab you with her normal air grab, right? Or if you say, oh, screw it, I'm gonna jump back and do a just defense, and sure, but then you need to deal with her options, because she can set you up for you know, a mix-up when you're in the air and she's in the ground, right? Now, if you decide to stay in the ground and say, oh, I'm gonna be like a footsie master, let's play a neutral, well, you know what, bro? You need to deal with either she's gonna do a low attack, which will open you up, or if she wants to go like the most risky one will be like a universal overhead. But even though you cannot punish that, or she will go with a throw. And if she goes with a throw, you're like, oh man, like you need to take it. And if she decides, you know what, I'm gonna go, like I was gonna go for a throw, but since they blocked the fireball, they're expecting me to do the throw, but I'm gonna walk back because her walking speed backwards is good, right? And that will be a shimmy, and from that shimmy, she can do great damage. She has one of the best routes. I mean, all her routes connects really well together. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, Kane, where is Kane, bro? Oh, here we go. Here you go. Now, Kane is interesting because I believe this character eventually might drop a little. And when I say a little, maybe to great. And that doesn't mean that, because that's another thing. Like, any character can beat any character. The only thing what I'm trying to say is that some characters have better tools and are more stronger than others. For example, it's like saying, oh, Ryu Fireball is faster than Kane's Fireball. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Now, in the case of Kane, Kane has great damage, especially from light attacks, has good corner carry, has setups, and the way to beat Kane is that you need to just defense, and that's something that's gonna be, I'm gonna be go over and over, because you need to do that. You need to just defense of the character, and sure, when he's under pressure, he suffers, because keep in mind that his flash kick, his DP is a flash kick, so you need to charge it, right? So if you're putting that pressure on top of him and know what he can do, right, you can beat him. But in all honesty, right, for a Kane player, it's easier for the Kane player to mess you up than you to him, because he's playing the zoning, right? And he can, like, let's say, like, if you do the correct read and he was going to throw the fireball on the ground instead of the one that goes to the air, right? If he does, if you know that he's gonna throw the one to the ground and you do a jumping, then you're good on set, right? But again, he has insane setups, even in the mid screen, and he can loop it over and over and over and over. So for that reason, Kane's top 3 right now I don't think he's top 1 because when I fight Kanes, I can beat them, but it's because since I played Kane back in the day in Mark of the Wolves, and also I did play him in the beta, I know what he's doing. So I think it's more like an issue of matchup knowledge, right? And again, the game is super early, right? And the more people learn, maybe the character will stay there, or maybe the more people learn the matchup, he will go down. Okay, now let's go to grade A because I want to keep it like technically A and B will have the rest of the cast. So let's go over here, who I think is the other next great character, and that will be Terry Bogard. Now, Terry Bogard, the same scenario has other characters over here that can convert from great damage from light attacks, and he can do everything. His Fireball EX is super good. He has great frame traps. He has great corner carry. The damage is insane. And even though standing hard punch is doesn't hit crouchers crouchers, you can still use it in combos, and it's a great whiff punishing tool. So you can use it for chimis. Again, the character is super strong, like super strong. Now, Rock Howard could be in, and this is something. Last time I did the open beta tier list, I put Terry down and Rock on top, but the reason why I'm making Rock Howard being the fifth one is that Rock Howard, you need to be more in the mindset of, hey, this character, I need to do this in this certain scenario, otherwise the opponent can blow me up. Even though it's not saying like he takes a major risk, because that's not the case. What I'm trying to say is like Rock is more technical, while Terry Bogard is more unga bunga and easier to control than Rock Howard. But still, the composition of the combos are good for Rock Howard. Also, Rock Howard has something that Terry doesn't have, that is that you can bait DPs on wake ups really easily by his jump before and do a fireball. And if they do a DP, right, the DP will get hit by the fireballs and you can combo afterwards, because it will create a juggle state in some scenarios. And even if they don't do the DP, the fireball will still hit them on their melee, so they need to respect it and they cannot go and dash down you. Some characters might be able to do it depending on how you do it, and also that's another thing, like depending on the knockdown. But if it's a hard knockdown, like GG's, don't try to do anything unless you can roll 4. If you know that's gonna do in the case that he did a combo that doesn't do a hard knockdown and he tried to do that setup, and you can do like a roll 4, then you can punish him. But still, Rock Howard has great damage, and he can do super stuff, like for example in case other characters that can do just defense and then hyper defense and then do like a guard cancel, Rock Howard can do his just defense and dark gang cancel instead of the going doing other stuff, and use the counter depending on how fast the order move is. But again, it's a great character. He can do far standing light kick. It's gonna be a problem because it's great for whip punish, and also start finding hard punch is really good. So it's a character that excels well with people that like to play neutral and control that neutral. Okay, so the next character that I think is on the top 6 will be Billy Kane. Now this character, a lot of people have been saying that he's broken. I don't think he's broken. I think the issue is that, and also I think this character might fall down later down the tier list, because right now people are getting cooked because of his range, right? And that is that was supposed to the character to be. But what I've been noticing people is that a lot of the stuff that he's doing, for example, like his follow after the far hard punch, the one with the stick, right? If he does the follow-ups, you can hyper defense it, right, or just defense, and go from there. Another thing is that this character, unlike other versions, in other versions he was bad. In this version he's really good, but he doesn't have a true DP. He needs to spend meter, a super, to be invincible, and that's the when you can, respect his options on wake up or reversals, right? He doesn't have a counter compared to other King of Fighters where he had a counter. Also in Fatal Fury, Real Battle, he had a counter. This time around he doesn't have that. So you need to be, you can pressure him really bad if you know what you're doing. What I'm trying to say in a few words is that, yes, he has great pokes, has great range, But if you know how to fight against him and how to punish, for example, quadruple 4 and kick, the one that he jumps in the air and go and then fall downs, you can punish that by either doing ADP when he's falling down, right? If you have that option, or you can dash forward and do a big punish, right? And I see a lot of people not doing that. I see a lot of people, and me myself, I sometimes get hit by it because I'm like, bro, it's like a small frame trap, and I still want to hit him because most video games are only doing the same thing over and over, right? But once you start doing hyper defense, and once you start pressuring them on wake up and doing strings that they need to block, you will notice that the character isn't that strong. He only has like that is his flaw, that's his weakness, and that's the reason why I think he's top 1 or top 3. Top 6 is still good enough, right? And again, all characters in this game can beat each other, but in regarding on who is the best at whiff punishing from any distance, Billy Kane will be the king of that, right? Now let's go to the next character, and this character, Cristiano, you know, it is what it is. Even though his confirmation from light attacks aren't the best, and that's something that the iPhone did mention when they did the interview when the Evo showcase, and I do agree. But he has, you know, he has 6 mix-ups, and he has mix-ups that are literally free. Like if you don't know how to block, then GG's. Also, you can just defend some of his setups, but doesn't mean that even if you just defense and do a guard cancel afterwards, means that you will be able to punish. It depends. For example, if I'm Marco and he does the ball on my knockdown, and I try to do the just defense to the ball and do a DP, Ronaldo will still pass behind me, and I will get screwed over, right? That's an example, right? But he has great damage, great mix-ups. I think maybe in the future the character can go maybe in the top 3. But right now I want to be a little bit objective and say, hey, you know, he looks strong, but because of the light conversions isn't the best. I think this will be a good place to let him be. Let's go with the next character. The next character I'm gonna say B.Jenet. Now people are sleeping on this character, and this character, like her counters, do work way better than before. They recover way faster, and she can, for example, let's say that you want to punish her red blow, right? And you usually need to do, if I'm mistaken, in frame data, like it's -4 and it's really close, so you can punish people. Now B.Jenet can do another thing. She can do either another red blow, which most people do, right? Or let's say that, oh, you think, oh, she's overheated, now I can attack her, I cannot worry about that. But that's the thing, even if she's -4, she can, instead of using a red blow, she can use her counter, right? And her walking speed and normals are really good. And you know, at the beginning I was like, oh, maybe she doesn't do that much damage, but she does the damage, right? And you know, that's something that most of the cast do all together. They have good damage, but she can be a real issue in the right hands. Think about her more like a Kami in Street Fighter 6. I will say that would be the best way to describe her, because she can play the footsies. The only thing is that she doesn't have a DP, right? But she has a counter though. And flaws, you will say that DP, not having a DP is a flaw in the case, but having the counter, you know, circumvent that altogether. And you need to play her a little bit different compared to other characters, because her counter is way better than Rock Cower's counter, okay? Let's go to the next character. Okay, the next character I will say is Box. Now, Box does insane damage from light attacks. And I see people that are not playing with him a lot, because I think, you know, because of the beta, he was one of the best characters and people want to test the other characters. But if you want to win and have like a solid character that can do everything, like has DPs, doesn't have, well, I mean, it doesn't have a fireball though, but he can cancel fireballs. And even though I don't think the timing is good, he's do just defense against the fireballs, I think it's way better. But has great corner carry, has command grab, which is something that he can also do as Hotaru. He can open you up really easily with pokes, frame traps, and command grabs that can lead to 50-50 scenarios afterwards. Yeah, he is a monster. He's really good. Now let's go with This is so hard, bro. Like, you know what? Okay, let's go with Kevin. Kevin. The only issue with Kevin is that he doesn't have DP, but he has great normals, has great damage. When I say great damage, it's absurd. I never thought that the damage he has in Mark of the Wolves will be translated here. I mean, not 100%, but close enough. So if you want a character that is like a brute force of damage, that would be the way to go. The only reason why I say he's lower than Box is because Box has a DP, right? And you can swap them because even though Kevin doesn't have a DP, and Box has one, Box combos the advanced ones, the one that he needs to DP cancel. It's hard for a lot of people. So in that regard, technically, Kevin is easier, but Box will net you more consistency damage, or maybe not damage, more consistency turnarounds. That's what I'm trying to say. Because with Kevin, you need to have the meter, a super meter, to do that big chunk of damage. Okay. Now the next character I'm gonna go about is, you know what? No. Let's go Hokutumaru. Hokutumaru, even though doesn't have a DP, he is really good at putting pressure, walking speed, and being nimble all around. I'm amazed that this character is so good the way it is right now, because in Mark of the Wolves he wasn't the best. He was kind of clunky, and over here he's used a beast. And if Hokutumaru is any indicator, because he has a lot of plus moves on block, EX moves, right? Andy's gonna be a beast, and I'm afraid of that, because Andy has a DP, right? Unless they remove it for some reason, right? So Hokutumaru is really good if you like damage, if you like great mobility, with a double jump and walking speed, etc., etc. Now let's go over here to no, you know what? No, sorry. Salvatore. Okay, so Salvatore is an interesting thing. Like, I think this character might drop a little later down the line, because his mix-ups aren't that great, but the damage he does is insane, and he has great conversion from light attacks. The same has Box. The only reason is that he is not that good is because he doesn't have DP, and he's harder to control. But once you know how to control the character, you can do amazing stuff with the character. Yeah, and when I say like his mix-ups aren't that great, is that, for example, Magic Step, you need to set it up correctly, right? You need to impose fear on your opponent, and if your opponent doesn't care, right, it will be hard to implement, right? So Salvatore is kind of a funny way to play. It's like you need to be super on point, and then once you're on point, then you can start trolling people around. Like, he's a serious character. Like when he's seeing his music videos or presentations, he has a serious face, and at the end of the set, you see that he's trolling people around. Technically, it's the same way that the game in real life it is, the same way you play this character. Now let's go with the good, right? Again, I think these characters are great. They can win. I'm not saying they are losers or don't use them. The same with A. Like, if you want to go, I believe that Preccha can win top 8, and also the last character, I think, is the bottom one, can also win a tournament, because I think the game is super balanced the way it is right now. But what I'm trying to say is, like, other characters can do something better than the other. So Preccha is on that boat. Like, Preccha has good setups, but I think that, for example, what she does, other characters can do better. For, like, she has a DP, she has a fireball. So if you want to DP a fireball and mix people up, play Hotaru. She will do it better. The only difference is that Hotaru has a command grab, and Preccha doesn't have it, right? Normals, like her range in normals is way better than Hotaru, but the way of plus frames and closeness that Hotaru has after she does her plus move is not the same as Preccha, if I remember correctly. So Preccha is way better in the regard of if you like to play more like neutral, stuff like that, but if you want to play more aggressive, Hotaru will be the best option. But, like I said, she's a Chodo, technically Preccha, so if you want to use that, play better with Terry or Rock or Hotaru. So the next character I will say will be after Preccha. It's kind of hard because I don't think this character is that good. But let's go here. So Dong Hwan, right? Now Dong Hwan, the only issue that the character has, to be honest, in my honest opinion, is that his normals aren't the best. What I mean by the best is that if you're trying to do a shimmy, like, you cannot do it correctly because unfortunately, like, he doesn't have that big of a range. With normals that special cancel to another move. Like, he can do damage, and that's another thing. I think even though he can do damage, I think the damage scaling does affect him a little bit compared to other characters, because sometimes you will have like a 20-hit combo, and Marco did a 5-hit combo, and Marco did more damage than him, right? Depending on the route. So that is the main reason for it, to be honest. Also, like crouching low punch, which looks like a crouching medium kick for Ryu and Kane, it's not special cancelable. So I wish that would be like a special cancelable though. Crouching hard punch, even though it looks good in range, is not the best, because I think, like, for example, B.Jenet has more reach on her crouching hard punch than him. So, but having said that, his universal anti-air is a really great button. I think it's the best anti-air in the game, because it can reach from far away and has like a big hitbox upwards. And again, I don't think this character is bad. The only thing I mentioned is, like, compared to other characters that have tools that they can special cancel from far away, he suffers from that. So if you're playing a foot T battle and you hit them with a, for example, standing, let's say you try to hit a whip punish from Kane, right? A far hard punch, right? And you try to do the same, like try to punish that normal, you won't be able to convert unless you make it so that it was like a wall punish. See, so it can, and having that kind of mentality, oh, I can punish as long as a wall punish, I don't think it's the best way to go about that. But yeah. Now the next character will be mine. The reason why I say this is because it's the same issue that other characters I mentioned in this game. Like, why play Mai when you can play Terry, Rock, Howard, Hotaru? Like, she's a Shoto, guys. That's it. Like, even though she's sexy jutsu, I see problems with her in that regard. She has a good DP though, but besides that, it's like, why use her when if you want to use her, right, because you love the character, do that. But if you want to use her because, oh, I want to win tournaments, there's better options. You can use Terry, Rock, Howard, and they can punish from afar really good compared to mine, because that's the issue. Mine can also punish, but it's kind of iffy sometimes. Now let's go with the other one, which is Marco. Now Marco has great damage, but his combos, like, you need to be on point with your combos. Like, the timing, it's not that it's hard timing, it's just a little bit strict. Also, sometimes the combos can get messed up because of the range, so you need to be on point with that. Even though you can do put people on block, have people on block and be +2 after like a Hadouken EX and do the dash, command dash move, which is classical back and 2 punches, right? That will put the opponent in -2, and you will be +2, right? You need to spend a little bit of real about that, so it sucks. Also, if you're good at just defense, right, you can just defend his DP, which is only 1 hit, compared to other characters in the game that have the DP will be like different hits, right? So you need to manually just defend that. But with Marco, it's just like low barrier, just 1 hit, and you can punish him sometimes, not all the time, because depending on where you did the just defense, etc., etc. So yeah. Also, another thing is, like, his standing hard attacks are not good in the regard that it has the same issue as Kim, where they're special cancelable, and that messes up stuff because, oh, I'm gonna punish him and then you're gonna cancel or anything like that, right? And the last not least, our man, the hope of the people, Tizoc. Now Tizoc, even though they nerf a little bit his OTG capabilities, his OTG combos, what I'm trying to say, they nerfed that a little bit. I think they should leave it as it was, to be honest. or make some other changes, because even though he has great damage, like the game mechanics of the game, and that's something that also happened in Marks of the Wolf, that have the same issue. In Marks of the Wolves, the game mechanics didn't help the game. He didn't help him whatsoever. In this one, I think they make him way better than Marks of the Wolves, but there's still some improvement to be done. Especially regarding, for example, his 360 and 720. I think the range should be way bigger, kind of like Zangief in Street Fighter 6. And if they do that, by only making that change, you could make him go all the way to A easily. Heck, maybe by that small change, you can go even to the S tier. Another thing I think is that standing light punch attack. Even though it hit crouchers from a certain distance. So sometimes if you're not careful about the distance, the standing light punch will whiff and you will get hit altogether. If they make that more consistent, that it does hit crouchers even from way far away, I think that also will help him really good. But yeah, so that's the tier list, guys. Both of these are SSSS and should be banned, but hopefully they make them playable in the future. But anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think about the tier list. Again, this is only my opinion. This is super early. I might be super wrong about all of this, but this is the way I see things in the meantime. And yeah, as always, like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below, and see you next video. Bye bye.